You're listening to the Quint's podcast.
कल जो हुआ है हमारे भाइयों लोगों के साथ, थोड़ा वो सुन के हमें दुख होता है। और यहाँ हम लोग जो आए हैं, इन्हीं लोगों के भरोसे पर हम लोग यहाँ रुके हैं। और कल से थोड़ा अंदर से जो है डर भी लगने लगा है कि अब क्या करेंगे हम लोग। तो अब देखते हैं आगे क्या होता है।
ऐसा हम लोग के साथ कभी नहीं हुआ था। ऐसा इस बार जो है इसी साल हो रहा है। इस महीने में, अक्टूबर का महीने में हम लोग के साथ बहुत जुल्म किया जा रहा है।
बिल्कुल हम लोगों को बहुत डर हो रहा है इस बात से। ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए। अगर यहाँ की आवाम लोग हम लोग के साथ देंगे तो फिर हम लोग यहाँ पे रुक सकते हैं, नहीं तो हम लोग नहीं रुक सकते।
Targeted killings of migrant workers in Kashmir is triggering fear and anxiety across the valley, with hundreds now fleeing the region. Since 1st October, a total of 11 people have been the victims of targeted killings. After a spate of attacks in the region between 5th and 10th October, where at least 7 civilians were killed, 4 more civilians, all of them migrant workers, were gunned down by militants between 16th and 17th October. Arbind Kumar Shah from Bihar's Banka village and Sageer Ahmad from Saharanpur, Uttar Pradesh were gunned down in Srinagar and Pulwama respectively on 16th October. And just a day later, Raja and Joginder lost their lives after gunmen barged into their rented rooms and opened fire at them in Wanpoh area of Kulgam. Along with Raja and Joginder, the militants reportedly also shot and injured Chun Chun Reshi. All three belonged to Bihar and had moved to Kashmir for work. A terror outfit which calls itself the United Liberation Front has claimed responsibility for the attacks in Wanpoh, while another outfit, the Resistance Front, claimed the attacks in Srinagar last week. Kashmir has been a source of employment for lakhs of migrant workers for years, with close to 3 to 4 lakh labourers reportedly travelling to the valley every year for work due to lack of employment in their state. From Arbind Kumar to Joginder Reshi to Sageer Ahmad, all of them were the sole breadwinners for their families. In an earlier episode, we took a deep dive into why these killings are happening and the larger agenda behind them. You can find a link to that episode in our show notes. But for today's episode, we bring you voices of the migrant workers in Kashmir and family members of the migrant workers killed in the attacks. We also speak with Sageer Ahmad, a freelance Srinagar-based journalist, to understand the ground reality of Srinagar. You're tuned in to The Big Story, the podcast where we dissect the headline-making news for you, and I'm your host, Ahmad. With a spike in violence in the valley, many migrant workers are now rushing to railway stations and bus stops to take the first chance to get home, while thousands have been shifted to safer locations by the police in fear of more attacks. While fear has enveloped the valley, misinformation is also rife. In an apparent letter signed by the SSP Kashmir Police Control Room, stated that, quote-unquote, all non-local labourers in your respective jurisdictions be brought to the nearest police, CAPF, army establishments, camps just now. Matter is most urgent, end quote. However, the Kashmir Zone Police on Twitter later announced this notice as fake. On 16th October, Vijay Kumar, the IGP of Kashmir, in a statement said that, quote-unquote, militants responsible for these killings have been identified and denied any security lapses. According to Kashmir-based journalist Sageer Ahmad, there has been an increase in police activity and security measures in the valley.
Security-wise, there has been this heightened, escalated security measures put in place since yesterday. Over the last few days, we have seen around 1,000 of people, are being arrested and taken to police stations or summoned to, on unspecified charges. Among them are journalists as well, which is also creating a sense of scare here in the public, in the media fraternity in particular. And then we have seen yesterday, there were reports that the scooters and bikes have been seized, a lot of them. And, people were just trying to communicate that we mustn't go out because police believes that militants use two-wheelers, to commit these crimes, and then they flee the scene, riding on these two-wheelers, which is very easier because you can negotiate your way through the small by lanes and alleys, and that makes it quite convenient for militant groups. So police might, it's likely that police suspects that two-wheelers have been used for logistics and transportation. So that's why there's an increasing crackdown on the two-wheelers. People who don't have the necessary papers, their bikes and two-wheelers are being seized. And then there is a heightened security presence around, particularly there are downtown areas. Some areas are being surveyed. Wherever police feels there is a threat, they are coming there and checking who is living around. There have been some kind of surveys. Additionally, we have seen for the first time in many years, women paramilitary forces have been deployed, and they are frisking and checking the women commuters on the road. So this is the first time we are seeing this kind of massive security escalations, and arrangements have been put in place, and there are CCTV cameras and other things. So a lot of it is really very unprecedented.
Denouncing the attacks, National Conference President Farooq Abdullah and Vice President Omar Abdullah condemned the recent killings of the migrant workers, with the latter stating that, quote-unquote, the vicious cycle of violence must stop now. People's Democratic Party PDP President Mehbooba Mufti took to Twitter and said that, quote-unquote, there are no words strong enough to condemn the repeated barbaric attacks on innocent civilians. The recent killings have also led to Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar to speak to J&K Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha. In a statement to the media, he said it's a matter of serious concern that people who have gone for work are being deliberately targeted in J&K. Authorities concerned must remain alert to check incidents there. For thousands of migrant workers, especially from Bihar, Kashmir has become a vital source of employment and income. With an employment rate of nearly 47% according to a CMIE report, a significant amount of people in Bihar look for opportunities outside the state. According to a study by the International Institute for Population Sciences, half of Bihar's households are exposed to migration. But families of these migrant workers are now living in anxiety and in fear due to the spike in targeted killings. For many of these families, their livelihoods depend on the income earned by their family members in Kashmir. According to Neeraj Kumar from Bihar, the lack of employment options in Bihar are pushing many to the valley to earn a living and support their families.
हम तो बहुत डरा डरा सा महसूस कर रहे हैं कि भाई आ जाए घर, सब यहाँ घर आ जाए, घर परिवार मिलकर के। यहाँ जहाँ राज्य सरकार को काम देती है, यहाँ पे तो यहाँ का लड़का बेरोजगार होने वहाँ कश्मीर नहीं जाती, यहीं पे काम मिल जाता है उन लोगों को। वहाँ जा करके 25-30 हजार, 20 हजार, 15 हजार कमाते हैं वो लोग। यहाँ कुछ नहीं है साधन, उनके जीविका का साधन, इसलिए वहाँ जाते हैं कमाने के लिए। वहाँ भी सुरक्षित नहीं है। वहाँ अब निशाना बनाया जा रहा है मजदूर को। पहले तो आतंकवादी पुलिस सबको अधिक करते थे, टारगेट करते थे, अब तो यहाँ बिहारी को, मजदूर को ही टारगेट कर रहे हैं।
For Mohammad Shahid Hussain, who hails from Bihar as well, it's no longer a question of employment but safety. Speaking to the Quint, he said that he liked Kashmir due to the weather and its people, but is now uncertain about what the future holds for him.
कल जो हुआ है हमारे भाइयों लोगों के साथ, थोड़ा वो सुन के हमें दुख होता है। और यहाँ हम लोग जो आए हैं, इन्हीं लोगों के भरोसे पर हम लोग यहाँ रुके हैं। और कल से थोड़ा अंदर से जो है डर भी लगने लगा है कि अब क्या करेंगे हम लोग। तो अब देखते हैं आगे क्या होता है। यहाँ जो ये हो रहा है ये नहीं होना चाहिए, खास करके हम लोगों के लिए। तो हम लोग तो बाहर से वहाँ से मजदूरी करने यहाँ आते हैं। अगर हालात यहाँ ठीक नहीं रहेगा तो फिर कैसे आ पाएंगे हम लोग। तो हम लोग इसी के बिना पर चलते हैं। कश्मीर आते हैं तो 10 रुपये कमा के हम लोग खाते हैं, बस यही। बाकी हम लोगों का कोई उधर तो है नहीं कुछ कि उसके बिना पे हम लोग रह लेंगे। कश्मीर ही आते हैं, यहाँ का सब कुछ ठीक है, मौसम भी ठीक लगता है, यहाँ का आवाम भी ठीक है। तो अब ये बीच में कौन सी हादसा आ गया है तो ये तो थोड़ा मुश्किल का सामना करना पड़ रहा है।
The story is similar for Mohammad Salahuddin. Kashmir has been his home for the past 10 to 15 years, but now he wants to leave as soon as possible. He requests the state governments of Bihar and Kashmir to organize transport for workers so that they can reach home safely.
यहाँ पे हम 10-15 साल से काम करते हैं। ऐसा हम लोग के साथ कभी नहीं हुआ था। ऐसा इस बार जो है इसी साल हो रहा है। इस महीने में, अक्टूबर का महीने में हम लोग के साथ बहुत जुलूम किया जा रहा है। हम लोग मजदूर आदमी है सर, ये अचानक हो रहा है हम लोग के साथ। यहाँ से देखिए हम लोग को डर घुसा हुआ है। हम लोग यहाँ से घर जाने के लिए चाहते हैं। हम लोग को कोई व्यवस्था मिल जाए तो हम लोग यहाँ से घर निकल जाए। गवर्नमेंट से यही अपील है कि हम लोग को यहाँ से निकाला जाए। हम लोग यहाँ से घर चले जाएंगे, क्योंकि यहाँ पे हम लोग को डर लग रहा है ताकि आज उसके हो गया कल हमको भी हो सकता है। इसी वजह से हम लोग को डर घुसा हुआ है। हम लोग यहाँ से निकलने के लिए चाह रहे हैं।
Sageer Ahmad, a carpenter by profession in Kashmir, was one of the migrant workers killed on 17th October. Hailing from UP Saharanpur, Ahmad was a father to 4 girls and 1 boy. With his wife passing away a few months ago and lack of jobs in his city, he was forced to move all the way to Kashmir to earn a living. His younger brother, Muhammad Naeem Ansari, now wonders how he will manage to make ends meet. Speaking to the Quint, he seeks compensation from the state governments to help fund the expenses.
जिसकी भी हाथ से वो गोली लगी है उनको सख्त से सख्त सजा मिलनी चाहिए उनके लिए। उन्हें सजा मिलनी चाहिए। और हमारे ये 4 भतीजियाँ हैं, एक बेटा है उनका, हमारे भाई का, वो भी राजस्थान में काम करता है, लेकिन रोजगार की वजह से ही वो परेशानी की वजह से अपनी फैमिली को छोड़ के बाहर काम करने गए। अगर यहाँ पे काम होता तो यहाँ से जाते ही क्यों इतने किलोमीटर दूर काम करने। हम चाहते हैं कि हमारी इन भतीजियों को गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से है ना कुछ मदद मिलनी चाहिए, कम से कम 1 करोड़ रुपए की हमें सरकार की तरफ से है ना मदद होनी चाहिए हमारी।
Some families are also urging their relatives who work as migrant laborers in Kashmir to come back home. According to Chandrasekhar, whose brother works in Kashmir, making ends meet here is better than living in Kashmir right now.
डर के मारे हम लोग सोचते हैं कि मेरा परिवार वहाँ से चला है, किसी तरह यहाँ नमक रोटी खाएंगे वही ठीक है। सरकार को तो इस मामले में नकार हो रखे हैं, सरकार तो नकारात्मक हो गए हैं।
The J&K police have so far arrested more than 900 people in connection with the killings. This is a developing story, so stay tuned to the Big Story podcast and the Quint for more updates. If you liked listening to this episode, please subscribe to the Big Story for episodic updates. We're available on Apple, Google Podcasts, Spotify, JioSaavn, and most of the other popular podcast streaming platforms. For other podcasts, please log on to the Quint website, and for any feedback, please shoot an email to podcast@thequint.com.
Thanks for listening. Log on to the Quint's website and check out our other podcasts.